Good afternoon. Welcome to the March 23rd meeting of the Hardin County Fiscal Court. I'd remind you that this is a voting meeting. If you have cell phones, so please turn them off or put them in vibrate mode. We'll begin with the roll call, if you would, Ms. Donnelly.
Williams. Here. Clem.
Here.
Wiseman.
Here.
Thompson.
Here.
Ronnie Goodman.
Here.
King.
Here.
Judge Barry.
Here.
Easter.
Here.
Doug Goodman.
Here.
Mr. Easter will lead us in the invocation and Mr. Wiseman in the pledge, if you'll please stand.
Dear Lord, we thank you for this day and for life and the many blessings that we've all received. We're most thankful for your love and your grace. I pray, Lord, that you would be with us today, guide and direct us, our thoughts and our actions, and at the end of the day be found faithful to those that we serve and represent. With all these things we ask in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Would you please join me in the pledge? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
With informational items, we'll start today with item 2A, which is the Hardin County Conservation District. Here to tell us a little bit about their 21-22 budget, we have Mr. Vincent Thompson.
Thank you, Judge. Members of the court. First off, I'll start by providing you with the check for the dead animal removal program. We don't have the overarching program as we've had in the past, but continue the support of the program that's being administered through the court, and I don't know how much funds were utilized that last year, but I know that some of it was, and it's still helping to offset some of the costs for some of our producers in the county, so we're happy to continue that program as best we can. Maybe in the future we can get something going to the scale we had it once before. You should have our budget available in your packets, and I've got one right here in front of me. If there's any questions that I can answer, I'd be happy to do my best on them. And then you also have our plan of work, which we try to update every year, if not maybe every 2 years. There's a few adjustments in there as well. So at this time, I'd be happy to answer any questions that any of y'all might have.
Anyone have any comments, concerns? Looks very similar to last year's.
Yes, sir. And we're happy to continue our work with the county government and keeping stuff moving in a progressive manner. So we appreciate your all's assistance through many matters. As is typical, if I can get the pleasure to speak about a few of our activities we have throughout the year.
Sure.
To be.
Yes, please.
All right. Well, I know if you saw the paper this morning, you know the biggest hoopla right now is concerning the tree giveaway. I spoke with the News Enterprise, was happy to do that with Miss Owsley, and try to convey as many details as possible. But of course, Marcia and our offices have been bombarded with calls, so some people just get so excited they forget to read the rest of the article. So, but we're happy to have the questions, happy to have the interest for it. So thank you to the county for everything that you have for that. A few other items we deal with. We sponsor the 4-H Showmanship Award at the county fair. We work in close partnership with Safety Day in October. Of course, these last few months have not allowed certain items to be as well put together as we would like them to have been, but we're still happy to support them. We sponsored 2 kids at the conservation camp, and we sponsored children at the 4-H camp. I don't think we had any sponsorship this year for the 4-H camp, but we encourage that. Another exciting piece of news, in my years on the board, we've tried to get the schools involved with the high tunnel program, and we're happy to announce that Meadowview has completed their high tunnel, and they will be having a ribbon cutting ceremony probably within the next month or so. So hopefully I'm sure they'll be inviting you all as well as us to that event, and hopefully it'll be a nice spring day and not rain, and we won't have to crowd inside the high tunnel, but we can do that if we need to. we hold the art and writing banquet. We have 27 kids this year. Last year, we just barely got inside the window before quarantine hit us. This year, we were not able to do the banquet as we typically do. We're hoping to do an event probably in May where we have an outdoor, I think we're going to do that at the farmer's market, maybe coincide with one of their dates. They like to get a bunch of people out there. So that should be an event. If you see about it, or if we can get you all invited, I'm happy to have you all there as well. Be a photo opportunity and just a chance for the kids to get their awards for their participation. And for the older kids, for the writing contest, and for the younger kids, it's the art contest. So we're happy to do that. Tree seedling giveaway, I already covered that. We offer 12 scholarships each year to students going into ag degrees or programs that might be pertaining to ag, kind of reaching on the periphery sometimes because I think it's just kind of a situation across most organizations. You're having a hard time getting enough applicants for the scholarships available, but we keep those available, and maybe next year we'll have the full slate taken care of. And then we sponsor the Family Resource Summer Camp, and then we visit with county schools and do soil babies, which are these, they're like a pantyhose with soil or something like that, and it grows hair out top of it, kind of like a chia pet. The kids really love those, and we get a lot of pictures of those. Do edible soil, which is basically just the chocolate type pudding with the Oreos and the earthworms in it, and then a garden and a glove. And that one I'm not as familiar with. That's the one where they poke the holes in it?
No, you put a seed in the individual with a cotton ball and it'll grow a seedling.
Okay. So another good program. We try to keep something entertaining for the kids. So with that, that's what we do throughout the year. I'm sure I left some stuff out. But again, I thank you all for your time and your support for our organization. And with that, I'll turn the floor over.
Anyone have any questions? All right, well, we appreciate the great work you do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have the Hardin County Detention Center's budget for the next fiscal year. We have Jailer Josh Lindblom here with us. Come on down.
How's it going?
We're doing well. How about you?
Been working hard all day.
That's good.
I believe you all have a copy of the proposed budget, correct?
They do.
If you look at it, I mean, it's not much different than last year. It's a little bit less than last year, but I'm sure by now you know that we're not going to spend any more than we have to on anything, and I'm pretty stingy with a dime. So if you look at it stuff, I'd appreciate if you just pass it, and we'll be keep on rolling. Any questions on anything?
Josh, I appreciate the fact that the drug programs for both men and women are still functioning out there. I feel sure that a huge percentage of the people that go through there, they're there for drug-related problems.
There's a lot, and of course, Mrs. Oldham will tell you the same thing. That most of the cases we have go through the county side of the jail up to the state programs and stuff. They are drug-related to an extent, and of course, lately it's been more mental health-related. But drugs do play a big part of that. So yeah, there's a lot of drug issues.
How many people do you have in those two programs? Do you know?
Right now there is, next week it'll be full again. We were able to get some prisoners from the state, but we were 9 short, so it put us at 37 downtown in the men's program, and it put us at, as of today, there was 41 in the female program, but it'll be back up for full staff, full beds capacity by next week.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate the job you're doing.
Well, I appreciate that.
It's a rotten shame we have to spend that much money, but you sure do a good job doing what you got to do with.
Well, I try to spend the money like it was mine.
It is.
I'm pretty technically I say but yeah, I'm pretty frugal with things, and we like to really shop around and do a lot of things because we'll go through 7 or 8 different companies looking for one product just to make sure we get the best price, and then. Another thing we have been doing throughout the Jailers Association, we've been calling some of the other jails that had to buy the same stuff and say, hey, if we get all these jails to buy at the same time, can we get this price, Not necessarily like a state contract, but like, a little bit of bargaining chip. So, 2 years ago, you've been paying, $105 for a mattress. We got it down to about $87 now if you buy a certain amount. So we're able to do that. And even cleaning chemicals to where, it's gone down 45 cents a bottle. So we're able to, keep going and chipping away at that. And just say, okay, if we buy 3 pallets of this, what will you give it to us for? So a lot of these companies have been real, not standoffish, but they're like, yeah, we better go ahead and do this because they buy so much. So, but yeah, we've been pretty fortunate with that. And my chief deputy, he's a very, very good bargainer when it comes to stuff like that. It's kind of like his sport now. So, any other questions on anything?
Well, you certainly do a great job, as Mr. Clem said, of watching the pennies. I'd note that this is about 0.5% less than his current budget, so certainly anytime you're spending less instead of more is good for all of us. When you consider that things cost more every year, there's always cost of living increases. And
we're not getting much back from the state. So the state's really kind of, put a hamper on a lot of things, but we're, like I said, we're trying to save the taxpayers' money, trying to save the county money, and trying to keep this pushed through.
And of course, retirement goes up another 12%, so that's all within this and still being 0.5% less. So appreciate the great job.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
While you're there, do you have anything else you'd like to give report-wise today?
I can go ahead and do the report now if you'd like me to.
Yeah, you're up.
Before EMS comes up and then. As you can tell, it's business as usual. 24/7. The staff has just been hanging right in there, and once you see all the intake and people come to the jail, you'll know that the law enforcement agencies around here, if you do break the law in Hardin County, you're going to jail. It's just going to happen. So, if you look at the lodging income's up just a hair from a month before. The intake is actually down a little bit, so that's good, but then the releases are up, so that helped us out a considerable amount. When it comes to the average daily counts, we're still dangling in the mid to upper 700s, so it's really, it's always full when it comes to that stuff. Now, when I say full, the jail itself isn't full. It's the main building of the jail where most of our county prisoners are held because they're actually higher numbers than pre-COVID. More people are coming to jail, and the state's not taking any prisoners. So when we have the prisoners that have gotten final sentence, they're just sitting there waiting to go to prison. We just got to sit on them for right now, and hopefully that'll open back up here soon. So hopefully they can start moving the prisoners to the state correctional facilities, and this is people that have Class A's and B's and C felonies that can't be housed in the county jail, after a certain time. So these aren't your people you put on the work programs. These are people that are going to be serving life sentences and upper towards 15, 20 years. So they're going to go behind the fence to the prison. So if you look right now, we're sitting at 54% state and 45% county. That helps out a lot, but like I said, it's also a lot of people waiting in limbo to go to state prisons that have not been able to go there yet. So we still collect the money off of that, which we should be collecting a lot more from the state. And as of course, the Judges Association, they've lobbied for it for years, but hopefully one day, the Jailers Association, everybody's standing on the same ground, we'll be able to get a better per diem off of that eventually. So, misdemeanor charges, what can I say? They're always, there's people drinking and driving. There's, assaults have gone way up. I think the cabin fever is really driving some people a little bit bonkers. But possession of marijuana is up. Violation of EPO is actually down, so that's good, but still that assault 4th degree is pretty high. Non-payment of fines, that's something they're not really as much enforcing now. People are just kind of getting to the courthouse and paying that stuff. So theft by deception code checks, that's down a whole lot. Shoplifting, 15 people arrested in shoplifting that month. Felony charges, burglary 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4 people arrested. Robbery 1st and 2nd, 1. That's not good. Assault 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 5. So you figure, there's 5 people arrested for hurting somebody bad enough to get a felony assault from it. Flagrant non-sports down. I know the county attorney's often working with folks and stuff with child support and getting those numbers down, and they do a good job of collecting that money. Trafficking of illegal substance. Anytime the economy takes a hit, that stuff goes up. So your illegal substance is 25. So if you look at your numbers you were talking about earlier, Magistrate King was, with the drugs and everything, you had 23 people alone just for marijuana charges. So that's a big thing. One thing is, we were one of the first counties around here to be able to get our work programs back up and running when it comes to our litter abatement and our mowing crews. They've been out working really hard. They just did a job down in West Point, picking up all the storm damage down there, getting it all cleaned up, get it all ready, back up and running. But the inmates, they work hard, all the crews do, and they're back up and running. But 13,521 hours worked that month of February. So that's and we even got a bigger number now that all the crews, and it's not as cold, they're actually getting out and doing a lot more. And of course, mowing season's starting now, so they're all hyped up and ready for it because they got to get out and work on their tan. So, of course, medical's always been the biggest bear on the jail. Outside of Palmer, we had 17 emergency room visits, 4. The nurse has seen 1,210 people inside the jail. There was 191 medical requests put in. One person was admitted to the hospital. There's 356 people on medication inside the jail. That's a lot of medicine, and that's a lot of cost. That's where the bulk of your medical costs go to. Any questions on anything? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go back. The inmate road trash cleanup program, where we talked about the hours worked. If you look at it, over the month of February, they collected 2,774 bags of trash. It also cleared 97.6 miles of roads, all here in Hardin County, all listed. A couple weeks ago, we were driving down through, back from West Point, and from the tank all the way up Muldraw Hill to the county line, just that little stretch alone, it was about knee deep in trash. I think a lot of folks are, since a lot of the fast food restaurants are closed down, people are eating on the run and throwing it out the window, and it's horrible. It looks awful. The guys from the tank to the county line picked up 181 bags of trash in just that small stretch. Just goes to show you, there's two trailer loads of trash right there. So yeah. But if y'all get out and about and see any areas where it needs some attention, the guys have been out there every day. They are doing an excellent job. But we're always, I'll be driving the back road and say, hey, we need to get this taken care of, and they'll get on the schedule and they get it all taken care of. So the guys work really hard, and I'm very proud of them. So, any questions on anything?
I get aggravated when I see litter, of course, and folks do, but drive up I-65 and go to Jefferson County, you'll be really happy to see what Hardin County looks like.
Well, Derby's coming up, so it should be picked up.
Well,
Hey, Josh, that's what I thought yesterday. I went up there yesterday, and I said, they're going to get up out here pretty soon because the Derby's coming.
Well, I get nervous when I drive through there, look at it, I'm like, I'm like, but yeah, I tell you what, the guys here, and I remember there's a post on Facebook, and Bob Smith, one of the deputies, he's adamant. He's like, we gotta get this trash up, and they love to get out there and clear it off. So they're pretty serious about it. So.
Y'all pick it up, and they throw it right back out, don't they?
Well, we'll just keep on picking it up as much as we can. So.
Yeah, you all do a good job.
Yeah,
thank you all very much.
If I may, I don't know if I need to ask this of you or the county attorney. I noticed that the legislature had a bill that was going to move, is it theft, from a $500
The threshold up.
threshold up to $1,000. How will that affect what we're doing at the jail?
I would defer that question to Mrs. Oldham.
It actually went from 1,000 to 2,500. Well, no, the felony threshold went to 500 to 1,000. Non-support went from 1,000 to 2,500. It really, there are not first-time offenders that are thefts that are serving time. In theory, it could push some from state to county inmates, but I don't think you'll see that.
Not much of a change.
Like I said, I don't think it'll be much of a change for us. I think the biggest thing we're looking at right now is the bounce back from all the commutations that have been done over the last year and a half. I think that's what everybody's waiting on. I know Hopkins County said that there was at least 47 in the jail that was released less than a year before that on the commutations. So I believe it's Hopkins County, but yeah, that's what we're waiting on. That's to be the biggest snapback for us. So.
By that, he means all the people let out commit new crimes.
Yeah, they go back on the county bill instead of the state dime. So that's a big thing. So, but we're watching it all, and of course I'm with the Jailers Association. I'm on the legislative committee for it. And of course, you're on the legislative committee for the state, so it's kind of hard. We just gotta, watch everything and, dread some of it. So, any other questions, guys?
As always, we appreciate the great job.
Well, thank y'all very much. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you.
It always amazes me, each budget cycle, that somewhere around $3 million, maybe a little bit short of that now.
A little less, yeah.
A little less than $3 million. That's the first thing you do when you build the budget. You build in almost $3 million for Hardin County folks who are in jail. That's pretty amazing. Pretty sad.
Yeah,
Thank you.
pretty disappointing that that's where our tax dollars go.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, next we'll hear from Hardin County EMS, Mr. Mark Peterson.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I bring before you the activity report for EMS, February 2021. Monthly collection comparison, fiscal year 1920 to fiscal year 2021. We're down about $13,000 in reimbursements last month. This month shows to be making up some ground with that. Billable versus non-billable runs, February 2020 to February 2021. Total runs, we're up about 119 runs, but we are also up in non-billable runs, about 121 runs. For the year, we've made 11,874 runs. Of those, 8,782 of those runs were billable, with the rest being non-billable runs for us. Summary, we have total miles for fiscal year, 328,361. We've made 11,874 runs. Of those, 3,092 were non-billable. Total billable runs were 8,782. We have collected just over $2.8 million. We got a $10,000 grant from the Kentucky Board of EMS. Total expenditures are 3.6 with a net of $807,000. Any questions for me?
Comments, concerns from Mark? Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. Mike Leo wasn't able to be with us this afternoon for the 911 report, but Bryce Shumate's going to stand in his place.
I probably won't be as articulate as Mike, but I'll try my best. Good afternoon, Judge and
Might be
members
more
of Fiscal
entertaining.
Court. Looking at this month's report, 911 calls answered were 3,954. Over 7,000 computer-aided dispatch reports created. On top of that, over 2,500 administrative calls answered. And a lot of people say, well, administrative calls, what are we getting there? All those things that aren't 911 or emergency-related administrative lines, a lot of people don't realize how many phone lines we actually have coming into 911 that we answer on a daily basis. We've dispatched over 1,300 EMS runs, dispatched over 300 fire runs, handled over 1,000 attempt to serve, prisoner transport, and traffic stop calls. And if you look at the pie chart, you can see that EMS is our #1 agency for dispatching calls to and answering calls for. Because you can't say that they're just a dispatcher, they're telecommunicators, because they're both answering the phone and dispatching at the same time. And you can look at the pie chart and see the other things that take up that space, but the Sheriff's Office and EMS being our #1 and #2 agencies that we dispatch for, that take the majority of our calls. Looking at fire runs, Elizabethtown is the major run that we make there, Radcliffe being the next, and you can see the percentages as we go out through the rest of our 14 fire departments there in total, 14 in total that we have in Hardin County. And one thing I wanted to get to everybody, that when we look at this next pie chart, 24.5% of all of our calls are transferred to other agencies. And sometimes when we look at this one chart, we get a little confused because we start looking at 100% and it doesn't equal out to 100%. So you folks that are watching at home, that's based on how many calls we actually send to other departments. Elizabethtown Police Department being our #1 agency that we transfer calls to, then Radcliffe, and then Kentucky State Police. Any questions on goings-on at 911?
We're busy.
We are, and we get a lot of different calls. It's not just emergency related. I mean, when we had all the snow times there, we were getting calls, asking if Muldrow Hill was open and all those types of things. Agencies, we get calls for other agencies where we have to give them numbers for other agencies all across the county. So, I mean, it's a busy place.
Anyone else? Thanks, Bryce. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Thanks for standing in. We don't have any ordinances agreements to address today, but we do have the consent agenda that was included in your packet. If there's any corrections that need to be made or any concerns you might have.
Just to be clear, Judge, item G, that's just an engagement letter only. That's not a decision or anything moving forward on the issue.
No, you're correct. It's to have assistance to guide us in that process should we get involved.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Doug Goodman, second by Mr. Wiseman. Any discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Donald?
Lamb.
Yes.
Wiseman.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Ronnie Goodman. King.
Yes.
Judge Barry.
Yes.
Easter.
Yes.
Doug Goodman.
Yes.
Williams. Yes.
We'll start with comments around the table today with Mr. Clem.
Usual, don't text and drive and don't drink and drive. And since we talked about it with Josh, we might as well just add, please stop throwing out litter. That's all, Judge.
All right. Ms. Williams?
I'll just announce that I do have a guest today, a patent attorney here in the audience, Chris Tanner. And Chris is a well-versed patent attorney. He's worked many years with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. He'll be at the Innovation Center the next couple of days. I'm not sure when this will air, but over the next couple of days on Wednesday and Thursday to meet with anyone free of charge that thinks they need the services maybe of a patent attorney. He will be doling out some free advice about patents and trademarks and copyrights. So it's a great time to get some free advice. So just get in touch with me if you would like to meet with him at my office.
All right. Mr. Doug Goodman?
I have no items, Judge.
Mr. Easter?
I don't have any.
Mr. King?
Judge, I don't have anything. Thank you.
Mr. Ronnie Goodman? Mr. Thompson?
No items.
Mr. Wiseman?
I don't have anything, Judge.
You all made that fast. Miracle. Ms. Oldham, anything from your office?
I'm just glad, I think it's Mr. Tanner, all my people will walk by you so you can give them that free legal advice. Because I think we're in the same building.
Yes, yes. Send them down if they have any good ideas, any inventions.
I'm in the public.
Ms. Donnelly, anything from your office?
No, sir.
All right. I remind everyone that next meeting of Hardin County Fiscal Court is on Tuesday, the 13th of April at 3:30 in the afternoon. Is there anything else that needs to come before us? If not, yes. Sure. Yeah, we'll be happy to. All right.
Do we get a free tree?
It's anytime we're getting money. We'll stay.
All right. If there's nothing else, the motion would be in order for us to adjourn.
I'll move.
Second.
Motion by Mr. King, second by Mr. Wiseman. If there's no objection, hearing none, we stand adjourned.